Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Let us reflect on verse 200 from Surah Aal-Imran. Sometimes the hardest part of faith is not beginning the journey, but continuing with patience when the road feels long. Today let's reflect on a verse that gently encourages us to stay strong, stay patient, and stay connected to Allah. This beautiful verse comes at the very end of Surah Aal-Imran, almost like a final message meant to stay with us as we continue our journey through life. This verse calls believers to stay patient, remain strong together, and keep their connection with Allah alive. Life is not always easy, and faith is often tested through waiting, struggle, and uncertainty. This verse teaches that success does not come from strength alone, but from patience, unity, and awareness of Allah. It reminds us that faith is not a single moment. It is a steady journey. Sometimes the hardest part is simply continuing with hope when things feel slow or difficult. Allah ends this passage with a promise that true success belongs to those who stay patient and mindful of Him. This verse gently encourages us to keep going, even when the path feels long. If we listen carefully to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in this verse, we begin to see a step-by-step guide for staying strong in faith. In this verse, Allah calls the believers with love and guidance. First, He tells them to be patient. Patience means staying calm during hardship and continuing to do what is right even when it is difficult. Then He tells them to remain firm and strong together. This teaches that believers should support one another instead of facing struggles alone. Allah also tells them to stay prepared and aware. This includes protecting faith, staying alert against wrong choices, and remembering their purpose in life. Finally, Allah reminds them to remain mindful of Him. This awareness is called taqwa. It means living each day knowing that Allah sees us and cares about our actions. The verse ends with a beautiful promise. Those who live with patience and taqwa will succeed. This success includes peace in the heart and reward in the hereafter. It also helps to remember that this verse comes as the final message of the surah, almost like a summary of what believers need to carry forward with them. This final verse encourages believers to stay strong after tests and continue their journey with patience and unity. It reminds them that faith requires endurance and trust in Allah over time. This verse is a summary instruction for believers to remain patient, united, and mindful of Allah in all situations. What makes this verse especially comforting is how closely it speaks to the struggles many of us experience today. Many people today feel tired from constant responsibilities and worries. Some wait for healing, some wait for good news, some wait for change in their family or work life. Patience can feel heavy during these moments. This verse reminds us that patience is not weakness. It is strength that grows quietly inside the heart. Think about someone caring for a sick loved one day after day. Think about a person learning a new skill slowly after many mistakes. Think about someone rebuilding confidence after disappointment. These are all forms of patience that Allah sees. The verse also teaches us to stay strong together. In a world where many people feel lonely, supporting each other is an act of faith. A kind message, a shared meal, or listening to a friend's worries can become part of living this verse. Remaining mindful of Allah also changes how we face stress. When a person remembers that Allah is always near, fear becomes lighter and hope becomes stronger. Even small daily struggles begin to feel meaningful. So the question naturally becomes, how can we begin living this patience and strength in our own everyday moments? Start by practicing patience in small daily moments. When plans change or delays happen, remind yourself that patience is a step toward success. Support others who are struggling. A simple, kind word can strengthen someone's heart more than you realize. Stay consistent in prayer, even during busy days. Prayer keeps the heart steady during uncertainty. Avoid facing challenges alone. Share worries with trusted family or friends who remind you of Allah. Try to remember Allah throughout the day. Even a quiet moment of gratitude while walking, cooking, or resting brings peace to the heart. Trust that progress with Allah often happens slowly but surely. If we pause and reflect on everything this verse teaches us, its guidance becomes very clear and comforting. Patience is a path to true success. Believers are stronger when they support one another. Staying mindful of Allah brings peace and direction. Faith requires steady effort over time. Small acts of patience are valuable in Allah's sight. Real success includes closeness to Allah and reward in the hereafter. Before we leave this reflection, there's one gentle question we can ask ourselves today. Where in my life is Allah inviting me to practice patience right now? May Allah give us strength in patience, steadiness in faith, and hearts that remain mindful of Him through every challenge. If this reflection brought comfort or encouragement to your heart today, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who may need this reminder, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue reflecting together on the wisdom of the Quran. Your support helps these messages reach more hearts.